Ex-military chief urges political parties to commit to 2.5% defence spending amid gravest threats since the Cold War. We're going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Sky News with the headline of ex-military chief urges political parties to commit to 2.5% defence spending amid gravest threats since the Cold War. The defence pledges also calls for longer-term commitments of 3% on defence spending by 2030 or British interests could suffer defeat by states like Russia, China and Iran. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can, hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. So there was an exclusive by Sky News about preparing for war, and I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check that out, about Britain could or may not be preparing for war. But I wanted to talk about defence spending. Now, I do think that it is important that we as a nation do protect ourselves from potential conflicts and potential future conflicts. There is always that possibility. Now, us no longer being in the European Union, I do think that hampers our relationship a little bit. But we are still a part of the NATO alliance, so I do feel that as long as NATO remains committed to its working relationship with ourselves and our allies around the world, not just here in Europe, I do believe that we will be stronger united rather than divided, and I think that's a really important thing. But do we need to increase more spending, especially at a time when we've already decreased our foreign aid in aiding other nations that are struggling right now, as well as on the fact that we have, as of right now, we are in a cost of living crisis. We have a lot of financial difficulty. We have an economy that's not growing. We have a lot of issues at home that we need to deal with. And should one of those be allowing us to increase our defensive capabilities? And I think this is something we need to have a real talk about, really discuss. Do we need to be spending the amount of money that we are spending in comparison to other nations? I do have questions and reservations about the amount of money we're spending. And this idea, should we be 3%? I just feel like, really? Like, can we not just, like, maybe 2.5% and maybe just leave it there? Like, can we just leave it there until, like, you know, our economy and maybe like some, I don't know, maybe like some of the basic things like our education, healthcare, and some of the main priorities that our state is in right now, perhaps maybe we should divert some of that money rather than from defense spending, like building nuclear submarines and whatnot. Yeah, maybe we should put them into more basic things that you know, maybe the UK could really do with, you know. That's kind of how I feel. Like, of course, I do think defence is important, but is it a priority right now? No, I honestly don't think it is, and I'm pretty sure many of you in the comment section down below don't think the amount of the money that is spent on defence is probably not needed either. I do think we need to have the military. I do need to feel we need to have a stronger military force. And I think, yeah, we do need to go towards the more investments down towards the likes of technology and the potential use of artificial intelligence and whatnot. And I think that's something should be something that we should be exploring as ways to mitigate the costs when it comes to defence. But how much money we should or shouldn't be spending is a question I think we need to have a general discussion about. And I'm very hesitant to say, yeah, let's spend on defence. And I'm thinking, well, yes, we have growing threats from the likes of Russia and China and Iran, and I've covered stories about how Russia and China have tried to hacked or have allegedly hacked into certain things within the British government. As well, they may have political influence within British politics, which I'm sure people have heard of and discussed as well, allegedly, as well. So we know there's that as well. But are they actually planning a general invasion of the United Kingdom? Probably not. But we still should be cautious. Yes, I am kind of sitting on one side of the other, but I don't think we should be spending as much money as maybe these people want us to. So a group of former defence and military chiefs and senior MPs have urged all political parties to commit in their election manifestos to increase defence spending to at least 2.5% of GDP, rising to 3% by the end of the decade. I don't think 3% should be needed. I think that's too much. They warn without such investment, British interests could suffer defeat, saying the UK faces its gravest threat since the Cold War, including from Russia, China and Iran. We therefore urge all political parties to commit in their manifestos this year to invest in real terms at least 2.5% of GDP on defence in each year of the Parliament, with a longer commitment to 3% by 2030, the group said in what it describes as the Defence Pledge published on Tuesday by the Council of Geostrategy, a think tank. No, I don't agree we need to invest that much. We also call on political candidates, whether standing or prospective, to pledge their support, defending your way of life, demanding nothing less. Rishi Sunak's government has promised to lift defence spending to 2.5% of national income from just over 2% as soon as economy conditions allow, but this lack of clear timing has caused howls of protest from within his own party. Labour have yet to specify a target, but John Healey, the shadow defence secretary, said the party will always spend what is required to defend the country. He's also reminded voters that defence spending was last at 2.5% when Labour left office in 2010. Yeah, why did it go down? Why did it go down? Oh, right, yeah. Austerity, of course, austerity. The Liberal Democrats have similarly not committed to a spending target for defence, but a policy published last September vowed to cancel the government's ill-advised cut to the army. Such a move would need to be funded. Among the signatories of a cross-party defence pledge were Michael Fallon, a former Conservative Defence Secretary who helped compile the list, Lord Air Chief Marshal Jock Stroop, a former head of the military, James Heppey, a Tory Armed Forces Minister until last week, Graham Stringer, a Labour MP and member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and Lord Teverston, a Liberal Democrat peer. The group raised concerns about the diminishing size of the Army, Royal Navy and Royal Air Force after decades of cut. Now I've talked about this in another video about the size of the Army and what you need to do to incentivise it. There needs to be better pay, better terms and conditions. You need to incentivise people to join the army and promote the benefits and the perks of it. It needs to be more diverse as well. You need to incentivise and bring in more diversity into the army in order for it to do so. I've even suggested the possibility of perhaps those who are potential asylum seekers or immigrants could potentially become workers of the armed forces. Some people in the comment section have this stupid idea, thinking immigrants are going to take over our country, which is the most ridiculous and most bonkers thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But there are Looney Tunes out there, but there are many ways that without having to raise money, there are ways that they can work on the size of the army without having to raise money to do so as well. I don't think we should have any kind of conscription, but I do think we should do more campaigning and incentivise nations to do so. There are ways we can do it without the use of money, but we can put money in if we wanted to. Countries with harm are growing stronger and more dangerous, they wrote. To deter them and properly protect our interests, we need stronger armed forces, particularly in larger navy, better air defence and enhanced cyber and space power. We do need enhanced cyber. Space power, I'm not so, I don't think that's a priority. Better air defence, I think, is something, could be definitely something that could protect our island. I don't think anyone's any wrong with that. Is our navy suffering right now? I'm not 100% sure. Not that I know of. Oh well, to be fair, there has been a few boo-boos lately on some of them. There. I do think it's a conversation we need to have, guys. I generally feel like there does need to be investment in defence, but at the same time, it's like, this is not a priority right now. The country is not in a situation where we need to be prioritizing defence. It's just not there right now. It really is not. And while I understand the concerns of the threats and what's not, like I said at the start of the video, investment in technology, artificial intelligence, and that kind of stuff used to help our armed forces would be a good way of helping that, but. Maybe even not even committing to this 2.5% spending. Maybe 2.25 instead percent. Maybe somewhere meet in the middle, perhaps instead. But reaching 3% by 2030, we need a lot of good things to go the country's way, yeah, in order for in order to give up that, because we you know, as a, you know, we're not a country that's not growing right now, and we've talked time and time again about the situation that we're in. You know, we have, I've said it before, rundown police service, healthcare, education, councils going bust. Like, where is all the taxpayer money? Like, so it's easy for them to say we need to commit to these numbers. Well, you know, it's easy to say that. It's another to actually do it. So I don't think we can commit to these right now, and I think Sunak may have a point when it comes to not committing to them right now. And but what do you guys think? What do you guys honestly think about defence? Do you guys honestly think that there needs to be more investment in defence? Do you think maybe this is just a lot of rhetoric talk? Should we be concerned as a nation, four nations? Should we be concerned about the threats of the likes of Russia, China, Iran? Is this just rhetoric talk? Are we being too over optimistic? What do you guys honestly think about this and more? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.